Hi everybody, so not that long ago, probably just before the end of last year, I asked you guys what you wanted me to do when I reached 200 followers on Instagram. I know it seems not really a milestone, 200, compared to people I know that have got thousands and millions of followers, but I was quite proud to get 200 followers just on my art account, just purely my artwork. So I said to you guys, what do you want me to do? And excuse me, I had the idea of perhaps showing you a collection of work that may not have appeared on my Instagram that much. And I know everybody likes the videos where you look through sketchbooks and stuff, and I find them really interesting too. But I feel they're a bit too common, and with my kind of form of sketchbooks, how I like to keep them, they're very messy and can be all over the place. So I thought it'd be a good idea to just look through my old portfolio from my foundation course I did at UCA Canterbury a couple of years ago now in 2016, which I really enjoyed. Yeah, absolutely loved it. It really changed my outlook on producing art and interpreting it, and I made a lot of good friends on the course as well, and learned a lot of new processes and stuff. So let's just dig into it. So this is one of the first pieces I made on one of the first weeks. It is just a little collage thing. So just to start off, I think I should say and talk about the beginning of foundation, because this probably will educate people or inform them if they do want to do a foundation course. Anyway, I recommend University of Creative Arts in the UK. I think they're an amazing university and what they can do and the people that work there and stuff. But yeah, basically it's an introductory course to just doing anything, any kind of art at uni. So before going on to degree, I did this course to find out what I really want to do, because after coming out of school, even coming out of A-level, I was still a bit unsure on what I wanted to do. So for the first 6 weeks, you go through different pathways of different forms of art which you could do, and like going to do a degree for, and then perhaps a job. And the first one we looked at, it was lens-based media, so it was mainly like photography and animation. But one important thing I learned from it in the first week was blind drawing and collaging, and how important that is to generating ideas, because it kind of just sets you a little bit free from being so concentrated, which they kind of like, I feel, enforce you a little bit in A-level. I mean, everybody's A-level is very different, but mine was very kind of precise and detailed drawings, and this was kind of the opportunity to, I don't know, be a bit more fluid and free. So we did these blind drawings, which is basically just looking at something and then drawing without looking down at the paper. So this is part of it, as you can see there. I'll just move it. So there we go. So I printed that onto acetate plastic and then just stuck it down onto this piece of collage that I had created, which was literally just like white paint mixed with a little bit of red paint, just newspaper, and a bit of drawing on top. So that's the first piece. Moving on, this is a little collage piece I really enjoyed doing. Again, just kind of using white paint washing over to create these backgrounds with different coloured inks. So obviously a red ink on the left and a more greeny, yellowy one on the right. And the drawing is, I really got into liking the idea of revamping older paintings, like kind of Renaissance and pre-Raphaelite. And as you'll see, I'll move on into kind of even tribal stuff. So yeah, this is one of the more Renaissance things, which I just used using a marker pen, which I quite liked. I'll see if I can get a close-up of one of them there. So if I'll just move it up a bit. There we go. That's one of them there, which I quite enjoyed. And as you can see, majority of this is on just A1 paper, just white clean A1 paper, and like in A level you may think this is a bit of a waste, mounting like such small pieces onto like a massive kind of canvas, but it really works to help your, like, because in my foundation anyway, we had to, towards the end of our unit, mount everything onto A1, because it gives it a little bit more space to breathe and let the image, you know, kind of talk for itself, which I really like. So these are some like blind drawings I did based off some tribal images I found in a magazine. It was all purely kind of collage stuff. I just found some from magazines there, and as you can see, some of them are blind drawings, and I've actually gone over the top on some of them there. So there we go. Yeah, I quite liked that one. Right. So we're coming towards the end of my week, so this is just the first week of being at UCA, and this is another piece I did based off the tribal kind of idea. So it was just messing around with just coloured inks and pen, and then I did this little drawing, tribal one, like a blind drawing, printed it on acetate and then just overlaid it. Then at this point, my work, like, I decided to go a little bit more detailed, but not too much, just kind of quite a graphic style based off tribal. And I really like this idea of overlaying with the acetate and see what I could do with it. So I drew just the same model, and this became the outcome from that certain week. So I really like this one on the far left here. See if I can get a closer look at that one. It's quite hard from the position my camera is to show you all, but yeah, there's another one. See if I can pull that down a little bit more. That was quite a cool one, so like a third eye kind of idea, and then obviously you can see the one on the far right too. So I was just, yeah, again, it's just all kind of like experimentation at this point. So moving on. This is the second week of the foundation course, well, the Carousel, and this was where we looked at the fashion pathway. And surprisingly, I surprised myself because I've never been a huge fan of fashion. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, just I've never been into clothes or textiles that too much. But this really kind of gave me a different outlook on it all. So basically, we were asked to create a character based from just using these white shirts. We had to cut them up and then pull them together and bring in an object. So that's me in the middle there. Let's move him up. Let's have a look at him. Little handsome chap there. And this is a mind map on ideas of just from that image and what I could generate from that idea. So I was kind of looking into the masquerade idea of fantasy, and then this kind of idea of a fictional character formed from childhood, and that's where the oil pastels came into play. So after creating one character, we also had to make another one, and then have a little fashion show. And as you can see on the right, there's a small photo there of me and someone in the fashion show who I was partnered with, and then I did a little drawing based off that. And there's some research to the side about the idea of childhood costumes and some inspiration with some childhood toys and memorabilia to the left. I really enjoyed this idea for project and wish I actually continued it a little bit more. And then Shortly after that we were introduced to the heat press, which I absolutely fell in love with because it's such an easy technique to use, and it was basically where you painted using these specific inks which reacted to the heat. So these are both drawings I just painted on to do with kind of the idea of childhood, so like some kind of child-friendly patterns and vibrant colours. And that's a photocopy there of one of the pieces of fabric I printed onto it with.